Welcome back. We had lightning versus ice in the previous part. And then Owl did something unexpected with Raven. I'm assuming this scene is gonna elaborate on that. If not, assume we'll find out later. Meanwhile, Chic-Child Valkyries barricaded all passages along the outskirts of Coral. Honkai beasts forged of ice hurled themselves at the defenses. The true disaster had only just begun.
デュランダル様、現在サンゴ島は天候が非常に不安定で、崩壊による寒波が強いハリケーンを形成しています。
Rita's face was somber with apprehension as she looked on at the darkening skies.
早々に律者を倒さないと、このハリケーンが赤道付近の気候に重度の影響を与え、全世界レベルの災害となります。
アルビトルさん、ヨルムンガンドの進捗はどうなっていますか？
副隊長の言ったハリケーンの影響によって通信がつながらない状態です。最後の通信記録から見ると、ヨルムンガンドと律者の戦闘はもう始まっているようですが、しかし彼らの内部で何かあったようです。フクロウという幹部がヨルムンガンドを裏切りました。それと先ほどアナさんのデータを調べたときに気になる情報がありました。
With a beep, Alvatia switched the comm display to show yet another file.
このものは、
これはアナさんの任務記録の中にあった生存者情報です。この陳天武という男性は2年前にアジアで起こった崩壊でアナさんに助けられました。彼の今の肩書きは先ほど申し上げたヨルムンガンドの幹部フクロウです。
ヨルムンガンドの幹部が過去にアナさんと接触していたということですか？少し気になりますね。
どうやら私たちの出番ですね。
隊長、通信が回復するまで待たないのですか？一応本部にも報告した方がいいと思いますが。
待つリスクが大きすぎます。私たちには時間がありません。
ええ、今は私たちが判断しないといけません。そういえばアルビトルさん、通信がつながらないというのにどうやってデータベースの情報を閲覧したのですか？
それはプロとしての意識ですよ。こういう状況もあろうかとあらかじめ関連資料をコピーしておいたんです。
アルビトルさん、勝手にデータをコピーすることは規則違反ですよ。
でも万が一のためですから。
リタ、バルキリー部隊の指揮はしばらくあなたに任せます。私は律者の状況を確認してきます。
お一人で行かれるのですか？
ここも同じ重要な戦場です。戦況のコントロールにはあなたが必要となります。絶対に崩壊に防衛線を突破させないようにしてください。もしヨルムンガンドが何かを企んでいるようでしたら、私が決断を下します。安心してください。
どうかお気をつけくださいませ。
ええ、ここは任せました。
At least we have some more information as to what's going on now. Right, 1810. Begin. In the vortex of chaos, a blue comet guided the lightning to strike true. The frost-covered street was traced through by a dark trail as though a line was drawn across a sheet of paper. May was the place where the line ended and stopped before the ice. She swung her blade against the frozen barrier. She was alone in this bleak whiteness. She parried the Ice Hirsch's attack and slowly restored powers that were drained by the scepters of TWIT.
フクロウ、早く返事を。
May tried calling her fellow allies on her comm device, but there was nothing but silence. She pieced the evidences together, and realized that they all pointed towards the impossible. She coalesced the Honkai energy and restored her Hersher powers. She must find the Hersher of Ice and uncover the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth. That's nicely done. There be dragons here. I assume carry on this way. Her dormant comm device came to life. Raven spoke weakly through it.
何があったの？
フクロウが裏切った。
フクロウが？どうして？
わからない。だが奴はお前に黄泉の杖を使って背後から私を襲った。神の鍵も奴に奪われた。認証がないから定格出力は使えないだろうが。
あなたは大丈夫なの？
正直あまり良くはないな。おそらく神経毒を使われた。私のことはいい。自分で何とかする。お前は奴を追え。奴に律者を連れ去られないようにするんだ。
分かったわ。あなたも気をつけて。私は律者を追撃する。
メイ、あと一つ悪い知らせだ。デュランダルがお前の方に向かってる。
Oh,
私
great.
の番ですね。ついてきてください。
I mean, this is the exact same position, so it's like she's not just heading towards it, like she's at it. I was stood here a second ago. There we are.
こちらです。
Hello!
デュランダル。ライデン・メイさん。まだ戦えますか？もちろんです。ではついてきてください。もう時間はありません。ええ、急ぎましょう。
Oh, dun dun dun. Gotta wait for it. The Lee was silent and lifeless. Leia? Even time itself seemed to have frozen over. The Hersher of ice hovered above the fountain. Her intents and feelings were hidden by a dark veil. Though she had just fought the Lightning Queen, the Ice Hersher appeared to be extremely calm. She was expecting something. The man approaching her from a distance may know the answer. The joints of Al's metallic skeleton creaked as he stiffly walked across the icy garden. He called out her name as he staggered towards the Hersher.
Anna, また会ったな。
The ice began to shift. The Hersher slowly raised her head. Her gaze rested upon his frost-covered face. She hovered towards him. The frozen beds of flour melted, allowing time to flow once more.
まさかこんな形で再会するとは予想外だ。
The Hersher issued a harsh and unintelligible murmur, a lament of sorrow and regret. Al took out a glittering pendant from his pocket. The pendant gave off a warm glow that contrasted against his cold metallic body.
アナ、このペンダントまだ覚えてるか？君のはまだあるか？君はおっちょこちょいだからな。まさかなくしたりしてないよな。
He looked at the Hersher and gave a bitter smile.
でも大丈夫だ。大したものじゃない。君が覚えてなくても、俺は俺の責任を果たすから。心配するな。今日は何があっても、君のそばにいる。これは君に助けられた命。君のために、最後の瞬間まで燃やそう。
And there was determination in his soft words. Al then extended his hand to touch her cheeks. The Hersher did not flinch as trembling mechanical manipulators brushed against her face. Though his robotic extremities were insensitive to temperature, and she had lost her tactile senses, the touch sent a ripple that resonated within both of them.
Anna, 君がまだ諦めてないのはわかる。自分を思い出せ。崩壊に心を飲み込まれないように。
フクロウ。
邪魔するな、雷の律者。
Well, I hate it. Like, no, we can help. Where did you go? Where did you go? So I evade the blasts, but I want some kind of target. Like, I was kind of press triangle, do this as I got frozen. It's like, no, I was doing things. Circles. So I'm middle of the skill when I was like, evade, 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 evade it, like there. She evades eventually. Is that it? There. May and Durandal breached the encirclement of Honkai Beast and came before Owl and the Ice Hersher.
フクロウ、何をしたか分かっているの？
当然だ。俺はアナを助ける。彼女を崩壊の束縛から解放させ、人間に戻す。無論、ヨルムンガンドの目的は知ってる。お前たちが俺にチャンスを与えないことも。だから俺に他の選択肢はない。だが、ライデン・メイ、あなたが律者の力をコントロールしたように、アナにもきっとそれができるはず。
Owl took the Hersher of Ice by her hand. A powerful blizzard engulfed them at once. Durandal leaped into action and became a blue comet that streaked into the sky. May was rooted to her spot. Her heart was filled with twisting vines of conflict, indecision and doubt. Many nights had passed since May left her at Nagazora. She knew she had to decide eventually. May convinced herself that it was all for her. She did it to foil her destiny. Indeed, those were the reasons. She must do whatever it takes to seal the Hersher of Ice. Dun dun dun. Next stage. Ew. Quite the garden. The blizzard howled as the eye of the storm swallowed the teetering space elevator. Durandal, ever the agile warrior, held out against the Hersher in the deadly cold. A stalemate between the Valkyrie and the Hersher was suddenly shattered by a bolt of lightning. Rider May glared at her foe. Though lacking the scepters of TWIT, she must find a way to seal her. She could not afford to lose.
やはり説得はできないのか。
これ以上言っても無駄よ。私は止められないわ。
ならばかかってこい。
Just as Ao prepared his weapon, a high-pitched scream was unleashed from the storm. Alright then. Why is the audio so strange? It's very weird. Oh, hello.
私の番ですね。
It's dragging it off. What flowers have we got here anyway? I'm wondering if they're familiar to ones in Genshin.
私の番ですね。私の番ですね。
目覚めよ栄養の守護者。
私の番ですね。こちら。
I was gonna say committing evade. It's like I was doing it.
強風に
Dragging it up.
私に服従しなさい。
So now I got the Hersher as well.
私の番ですね。
Surely something's gotta happen here.
カプリキスです。
Dragony dragon.
私に服従しなさい。
You would, wouldn't you? You would.
栄光よ私と共にあれ。
I just like destroyed the pillar at this bit. I can't get out of here. I'm stuck. Maybe that's what was meant to happen in the past. I was very confused why there was other ones. The shattered veil revealed a sight familiar to May. Indeed. She resisted the storm of emotions and readied her weapon to strike. But Owl stood before her to stop her blade.
Raiden May, 彼女を殺したいなら、まずは俺を殺せ。
His severely damaged mechanical body fared poorly in the cold. Sparks flew from the failing circuitry. Yet he refused to back down. May was taken aback. The decision that Owl had made was too familiar.
この命と引き換えにキアナちゃんを連れ戻せるなら 喜んで捧げます。この命は彼女に救われたのですから。
The man had made the exact same choice she did back then.
俺の命は彼女にもらったものだ。たとえ死んでも俺は彼女を守る。
ライデン・メイさん、何を迷ってるんです？
The comet streaked past, her lance aimed directly at Al. And then a mighty storm erupted right in the middle of the battlefield. The Hersher's wail released a massive amount of energy stored within her core. May and Duradel held out against the frigid blast that swept over them. The entire island shook from the force. A giant glacial formation emerged from the elevator, like a snow lotus in its full bloom. The freezing wave overwhelmed everything in sight. The Hersher of Ice and Al were nowhere to be seen. Oh, there they are. Al supported the Hersher and trudged along in the stricken city. She spent all her powers to deliver the blast. There were 2 fragile flakes of snow that would break apart in any moment. But however difficult every step could be, Al refused to break or fall. There was only a single voice left in him.
アナ、絶対に君を生かす。
That's kind of understandable. Again, like, yeah, relating it back to May's story, it's like, yeah. Very, very similar. Very, very similar. So let's claim that. So that's, like, pretty much this chapter done, right? Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we're done. It's like, huh. Does feel kind of strange, like no event on the end or anything like that. It's like, very weird, very weird. Alright, into Earth does the water flow. Welcome to the story chapter, Cap. Yeah, alright. This chapter you can play daily stages for Warzone XP and boost Warzone level. Like, no, just the story, mate. You can also collect R&D materials from daily stages to boost R&D level. Now, time for you to enjoy the new story. Indeed, the event. Smothering stiffness, pain, exhaustion, and powerlessness. Felt like a withered root buried in the ruined earth. There was no light in this suffocating agony.
このまま終わるのか。
He did not accept this. He tried to move his hands. His fingers felt only cold, sharp pain. Bits of dirt and mud fell onto his face. Having exhausted himself, the man accepted his hopeless reality and closed his eyes. It was at that very moment when he heard a soft, ticking sound. Shrakra. Crack, clack.
幻聴か。
The sound grew louder. He opened his eyes. Light shone through a tiny crack high above him. Someone removed the heavy slab with a shout.
よかった。生きているんですね。本当によかった。待ってて、今助けますから。
He saw the person who saved him. Her worried look was overtaken by a joyous relief. She removed more rocks and debris. Crack widened into a gap through which light poured onto his face.
助けてくれ。
His voice was weak, yet he found the strength to stretch out a trembling hand.
安心して、絶対に助けますから。諦めないで。手を。
Well, he could feel the warmth in her palm.
頑張って。あともう少し。
He saw her smile. Her beautiful face was highlighted by the sun and unfurled before him like a portrait painting.
ありがとう。
The light grew stronger. His vision blurred as her smile began to warp and twist. The world fell silent. There was nothing left except for a call echoing in the far distance.
ねえ、起きて。起きてください。お願い、死なないで。お願いだから。起きてってば。
Memories faded and gave way to the stark reality. The first thing he saw was the Hersher beside him. She was silent. Anna's face was visible beneath the veil. She was as beautiful as he remembered. But the Hersher wasn't innocent and confused as a newborn child. Her gaze was bereft of human reason.
Anna. 安心しろ。必ず君を助ける。俺を信じてくれ。ああ。絶対に君をここから連れ出す。
And there we are in chapter 19. How much of chapter 19 have we got? Quite a bit more than we had previously, and there's definitely big events coming at the end then. Wondering like what the thing in the background is. Not entirely sure. Anyway, 19.1. The storm is followed by a wake of freezing death. Alright. We have Rita. Coral, outskirts. The Immortal Blades Valkyrie squad just endured a powerful blizzard.
これは
副隊長、先ほどの寒波衝撃はサンゴ島の中心エリアで発生したものです。爆発した瞬間の崩壊エネルギーは凄まじいものであったことが確認できております。今、サンゴ島全域が凍ってます。きっとリツ社の力です。隊長は大丈夫でしょうか。副隊長、私たちはどうすればいいんですか。隊長の支援に向かった方がいいのでしょうか。
Rita looked towards the city center and saw Honkai beasts hidden in the frozen mists.
私たちには私たちの使命があります。デュランダル様が私たちに与えた命令は防衛線を守ることです。勝手に任務から離れたりはできません。今私たちにできることはデュランダル様を信じ、彼女の後ろ盾になること。
Hello, guys.
不朽なる刃、崩壊迎撃準備。かしこまりました。
Lloyd. Right, good spanking you did, mate. No idea what they were saying. I was just heading for the thing, being like, yeah, I'm sure to carry on as I do that. Nope. More damage than I expected then. Keep you floating locked to me good. Done, done, done. No? We're not done, done, done?
副隊長、崩壊獣は全滅。皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
The blizzard subsided as soon as the Honkai beasts were vanquished. Rita looked towards the skyscrapers in the distance. Her anxiety was only too obvious.
デュランダル様。
おかしいです。崩壊獣は全て消滅しましたが、周りの崩壊エネルギーはまだ上昇してます。
Alvatir surveyed the battlefield and quickly found her answer. Two approaching figures emerged from the retreating mist. They walked very slowly, as though they were afraid of breaking the fragile ice beneath their feet. And shatter hit like this broken battlefield.
どうやらここが天命の防衛線か。
That was it? Ooh, well, I'm actually going to use that as a stopping point right now, because I feel like that feels more like a natural end to like where things are and stuff at the moment. The side stations are available now, Cap. Don't forget to check them out. I will forget to check them out because I don't see their importance. Nothing. This R&D didn't come into effect at all in the previous stuff. What I was doing anyway. Daily stages of higher ranks drop more tokens. Try to challenge them after boosting your R&D level. Like it is very much like just ignore this completely. It's like I've not needed it. So. Right, but anyway, we'll carry on in the next part. Ta-ta for now.